shoot people. So this is one of the stranded people who decided that the coalition of border governments is too fascist, so they don't want any part of it, and it's quite true, to be honest, but that's cool. You know, if you're saving the world, you're allowed to be a little heavy-handed with government policy. And then the locusts want him for the same reason, to turn him into a slave or turn him into a soldier, whatever else. So you actually will shoot this locust, and the flag will run off and start shooting at you as he runs off. So it's a fit for the Gears franchise, as opposed to just running around with a little blue flag saying capture. Okay, and the better analysis for multiplayer. We knew we needed to make matchmaking better. We felt pretty good about it, but we wanted to make it even more smooth and have rich presence be better, which ties into the features before I mentioned, the technology section, to have a better, simpler party system, a competitive party system, much less, I think, a better one than other games have right now. And then making it really easy to tell where your friends are, what we're doing, and get them to play with you online. So this better analysis in our multiplayer section is what drove a massive technology effort in the engine team, where we had 4 guys working nonstop for 2 years on back-end services that have nothing to do with the Unreal Engine, and everything to do with stats and sharing technology with the Xbox Live team. And then stuff that we wanted more of, we wanted more online players. That seems pretty obvious. But not just lots of them, but also more of them playing together at any one time. And we talked a lot about, like, do we want 16 on 16 Gears of War? Do we want to compete with Unreal Tournament for that, jump in a vehicle and have a crazy time, or Halo, or what you call it, too, like Resistance 2, or having a million players or whatever. It just doesn't fit very well with the Gears universe. We want this intimate violence. We want the guy right in front of you, and you screaming, going, "Rah!" with a chainsaw, and him doing the same thing back. We want chainsaws fighting against chainsaws, against monster trucks fighting. Anyway, you see where it comes from. So we just decided to stick with, we went to 5-on-5 because it was pretty easy to do, but we didn't want to go any further than that because, well, it just doesn't fit Gears of War, right? There's other games that do that and do it really well. We also added a really cool new mode, which we debuted at E3 called Horde. It's very simple. It's Invasion from Unreal Tournament, for those of you who are familiar with that game. But we send Locust Horde at you. And you just stand there, you and your 5 buddies, and you're scared to death, and you don't have enough ammo, and you don't have enough time, and waves of bad guys come at you. You get to see all the cool bad guys in the game all at once, and you feel like it's a desperate stand, you not fighting alone, but with your buddies all huddled up. And it's just perfect for Gears of War gameplay. It's also really fun, but finding fun things and making sure they fit your universe and that your universe is consistent, I think, is the key to the franchise. Rightio. So gameplay stuff that we did for Gears. Our game is known for, it's a third-person shooter, cover-based shooter. We did invent third-person shooting. We did invent cover. Kill Switch, I guess it was, did a really great job of that for us. All we did was take some ideas and I think polish them really well and make them easy to use, which is what I'll talk about tomorrow in the Best Selling Games panel. Intuitive controls is huge. You guys know that. We had some really memorable weapons, something that people could grab onto, and also what we call water cooler moments. That's that moment that after you play the game, you come back to work and say, "Dude, did you see the Berserker when he burst through the wall? And oh my God!" And Dom dropped right in front of me like a sack of potatoes, and I was tearing off. And that moment that you share, we play all sorts of nasty tricks in Gears to make sure that stuff happens so that you experience it. Because the worst thing that can happen in video games is to have, pardon the Rubicon, emergent gameplay where something really, really cool happens behind you when you're not paying attention to it, because we don't want to force you to experience the fun stuff. It should be your choice. Screw that. We want you to experience the fun stuff. We spend a whole lot of time making a really cool thing happen. So we'll make sure that you're fighting bad guys this direction, you're kind of aiming, and then the cool thing happens there. Well, we didn't force you to do it, but you saw it. Or we might throw up a little note, "Hey, look this way," and point you in the right direction to make sure you catch that water cooler moment. And we had a lot of success with that. GameSpot did a "What's Your Favorite Gaming Moment?" and we were #1 out of the top 25 all time, which is redunculous, but the point is there are a lot of people in GameSpot who like Gears of War who said that was one of their favorite gameplay moments. Okay, so new stuff that we added to gameplay. One chainsaw is cool, 2 chainsaws is better. You're getting a feel of chainsaws, monster trucks. We're just a bunch of rednecks down in North Carolina, America. I apologize. We wanted dynamic cover. So we've got this cover system that we were really proud of, and we wanted more of that. And we thought that the way to extend it was not to put more cover in levels or to force you to use it more, but to add cooler kinds of cover. So you saw that hostage we were taking in that capture the flag mode. You can actually use hostages as cover. It's sort of rude. You shoot their legs out from under them, you grab them, pick them up, you automatically pull out a pistol. and you use that guy as cover. It's really mean to do against rocket launcher wielding bad guys because he'll just explode right in front of you. You're fine, you just troop on your merry way. It's a mature title, right, or expected to be. So that's we call that the meat bag. So anyway, officially I think it's called escaping a hostage in the manual. We decided to change that. There's a worm in the game that's got a rocky hide that's moving all the time. You're able to pull up behind it and use it as cover while it's moving. So you've got this cool moving cover that's kind of changing the dynamic of the battlefield, where if you don't keep up with it, you're having problems with firing angles. And the boomers, if you always play the version when you're boom, right, the cool rocket launcher dude, we have a version of him that now has an explosive flail and a shield. You take him out, you can take his shield and run around with it, and you can actually plant it physically as cover. So it gives you the ability to create cover anywhere that you'd like. So new stuff for the cover system. We wanted the cover system to be better too, and there was a lot of room for that. We counted 400 odd tweaks that we made to the cover system between Gears 1 and Gears 2. It was a very intuitive system, but there are a lot of little things we could do with the edge cases, sliding around corners, things like that. And it was really important for us to keep pushing that, because there's always that one guy who hated the cover system. And he posted on our forums like 1,000,000 times. So we did a lot of fixes for him, and I think he'll be happy with Gears 2. You spend some time, we call it down but not out, in Gears 2, where when you're shot, when they shoot your legs out, you're crawling around on the ground, screaming for your buddies to come help you. So we made it more fun. You can do stuff like crawl over towards your buddy as they're coming to you. You can try to keep yourself alive longer by pounding buttons. You can set a grenade on yourself so that if someone comes over, your grenade will go off. Stuff like that. Like real life. Okay. Then we wanted to have better friendly AI because as fun as Gears 1 was, there were certainly times where you were very frustrated with your squad mates, right? I mean, that's the problem, is you want them to be perfect, but not so perfect that they kill everything for you, but not so bad that you feel like you're having to drag them along. And getting that balance right is really difficult. So that's something we spend a lot of time on in every single encounter, making sure your buddies are kind of going in the direction you're supposed to be going, but not leading you that direction, but not staying behind you too far. And that takes a lot of work to get it exactly right. Things we liked with the Gears 1 gameplay and wanted to do more of. Lots of bosses. We've put mini bosses throughout the games. Like the Reavers, which you fight the first time, will now land and attack you with their legs and shoot rocket launchers at you. Lots of different the boomer types. There's the maulers, which are the boomers with the shield. There's a bunch of different kinds of them. So you're constantly encountering a couple of drones, a couple of the low-level henchmen, and then something bigger to make each fight feel different. I can't talk about the big bosses, but we have big bosses too. And then more finishing moves, because really is a chainsaw enough? I mean, after a while, start getting a little tired of it, seeing blood splatter. I mean, sure, you can poke him in the back now, but it's just a chainsaw, right? So we added some more stuff, like the golf club kill, that kind of thing. You'll see it. And then more enemy variety. Something we had trouble accomplishing in the first years, just due to memory constraints and time of development. So we were able to really knock this out and add a lot of variety while still keeping core Gears gameplay. And believe it or not, ladders. We built this awesome ladder system with great animations that came on like a week before we shipped the last year. So there was one ladder in like Act 5, and he whips up on the ladder, swings up, the camera flings around. It's such a cool ladder, and that was the only one in the whole freaking thing. It must have been like a month and a half of animation time, and voiceover that goes with it, and all this stuff. And so anyway, so I decree there will be more ladders in Gears of War 2, so you heard it here first. Okay, maybe that's not what our fans were looking for. All right, so I'm going to switch over to a gameplay demo now. I'd love it if we could trim the lights down a little bit more than they are. The chances of this working right off are slim, but I'll do my best. So what I'm going to show you is a demo that we did behind closed doors a few times in E3. If y'all could kill the lights like way down, that would be awesome. This is about 6 minutes long, but I'm going to stop at a few points through it and point out a few things that we changed and why we changed them. Sweet. More there. Yeah, as many lights as you can kill and not have us be illegal for fire reasons. And only for the maturity of our company. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to tempt fate. I apologize. Okay, getting better. Cool. Can we use these two, you think? Or